there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. GM Potter here. Welcome to my channel where I talk about books and bookish things. And today we are talking about the third and thrilling conclusion to one of my favorite series, and that is the I'm in Love with Mothman series. This book, of course, being I'm Getting Married to Mothman by Paige Lavoie. This is the Mothman in Love, Book 3. Let's get into it. So this 246-page book came out in 2024, right around early December. It was kind of a birthday present to myself. And you can feel the author's joy when she was writing this. Like, there's a joy in the author that comes through on page. It's just, in the first chapter, like, they're in the Moth and Heather are in this very lovey-dovey love haze, and it's written so joyfully and so beautifully that it's just wonderful. In that first chapter, it's a dual point of view between Moth and Heather. Moth is protective, very protective of Heather. She gets kidnapped again. It's not in a toxic kind of a way that he's protective of her. It's very much in a, I know she's doing everything she can. She has agency. She has autonomy. I just miss her and I want her back safely kind of a thing. And it's just, a lot of people talk about toxic masculinity, and I think these books are excellent for not having toxic masculinity, for being a non-toxic male, and that is Moth. Heather feels capable, and she has agency over herself, which I love to see. She has in all of the books, and even though she's kind of the damsel in distress, she's doing her best to fix it and to get out of it, and the ending, oh my goodness, the ending is so good. So good. Like, I love the ending of this book. So, catch-up time for the other two books. Heather has Hashimoto's, and it actually plays a part in the first book quite heavily. It plays a part to a lesser extent in the second and third books, but it makes me feel like the author maybe has either experience with this personally or knows someone very close to her that has Hashimoto's, because it's written very, very realistically. Like, it's not written like she read a Wikipedia article and is like, this happened. Like, there's one book I read last year where the main character had POTS, which I have POTS, and the Wikipedia article on POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, mentions that stress makes it worse, which doesn't stress make everything worse? But the character was having a difficult conversation in the book I read, and she started to get stressed out because it was a difficult conversation and immediately collapses and passes out. And I'm like, if she's in that precarious of health with her POTS, like, the book took place over a couple of months and she never once saw a doctor. Ever. And I'm like, I see my doctor once a month and I'm fairly stable. And I see my doctor once a month. Like, where the hell is her team of doctors? Like, how is she not going to specialists? Like, I don't understand. And Heather's Hashimoto's is well managed, but she still has to take medications and, like, the other things that come with it, like she has to be on a gluten-free diet because of her Hashimoto's, and she has to do this, and she has to do this other thing, and blah, 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 blah. And it grounds the book in this beautiful realism that otherwise this fantasy book would just be off the rails insane without a firm grounding in reality. And like I said, it feels like the author has experience with the disease, either personal or someone very close to them, because it feels realistic, which I really, really loved. you don't have an unreliable narrator with this. You can believe both parties, both Moth and Heather, in the narration, which is good. I love an unreliable narrator, but it is a nice break to have one that I can trust from time to time. And I love that her reaction to being kidnapped isn't, oh, I have to wait for my Moth to save me. It's, okay, I'm in the fairy realm. I accidentally made a bargain with a fae. How do I get out of it? I could make him a counteroffer. That's a brilliant idea. And, like, it's just so well written that it's just beautiful. And I want more from this author. I am willing to track down more books by this author to read them because these three were so good. Mothman or not, I want more from this author. Are you a Mothman fan? Are you a fan of another cryptid? I had a nurse while I was at the hospital the other day who had Sasquatch on her surgery cap, which was really cool. Pardon the iodine. Yeah. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.